Is there any puppy who wants to sit on my lap?
I'm sure there will be.
If anything, it would help my outfits.
To have like little...
Because you know how jeans are, and like how jeans, you kind of get like the jean boner thing because it's stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing right now in dress form because I got the joutfit on today.
That's a real thing. You know what's actually even more that than like wearing the jeans is when like I'm in the pool.
Oh, and like, oh my God, I always notice that with guys where it's like the air bubbles.
The air bubble?
Yeah, just make you guys have like balloon pants.
I remember being in like middle school and being like, oh my God, guys, I don't have a boner. Trust me, I don't have one. And now that I'm an adult and I really am pretty shameless as far as like, I'm not shameless in the way where I'm like, I do whatever I want, but I'm shameless in the way where I'm like, if you think this is a boner,
yeah,
that's on you.
Obviously not. These are my shorts ballooning.
These are my shorts.
Yeah.
I also don't have really any bathing suits. I just wear my gym shorts. My gym shorts are very universal.
I know. Every time we go somewhere, I'm always like, did you pack a swimsuit? And you're like, I brought my shorts. And I'm like,
That's what I wear. They look like the best bathing suit too.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. I have to bring all my bikinis, etc.
A fun little men's fashion thing that I don't even think we should really go into because it's not like I know anything about any fashion stuff.
What? When I think of men's fashion, I think of Jack O'Shea.
I mean, I'm wearing my wire shirt. It was a brand deal. So they sent me a lot of them. I love them.
Yeah, they are good shirts.
Fashion. I'm wearing the hat that I'm wearing was a gift from our wedding venue. It says Hyatt on the back.
The Hyatt Indian Wells. If you're ever in the Palm Springs area, we cannot recommend the Hyatt Indian Wells enough.
Absolutely lovely. But another men's fashion thing, is, as far as like men's bathing suits go, is the netting. Mm-hmm. Do you want netting inside or not? And I remember being in like 7th or 8th grade and be like, no, I always cut, like people, my friends were like, oh, I always cut the netting out. I didn't really understand why necessarily.
I don't really understand what it's there for, period.
I just sort of went with it. I don't know what it's there for. I genuinely don't.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's like.
Maybe it's just an extra layer just to.
It's not tight enough that it like keeps your junk in place or anything like that. But it's not like loose enough where it's just like part of the rest of the fabric. It's just, you're right. It's this. But I never found like an issue with it necessarily. And then all my friends were like, oh, I'm cutting it out. And then I felt like the weird peer pressure to be like,
I'm cutting my nets out.
I'm cutting it out too. Because I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think when I was younger, it used to be like the pads in your swimsuits. All the girls were like, oh, like, yeah, my bathing suit has like padding. Like,
and that's good. You want that.
When you first start getting boobs, you're like, oh my God, yeah. It's basically like I'm wearing like a bra.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, I'm like, I take them out. I'm like, I don't want this.
That must be a hilarious. It's really funny, like as you're growing up, especially the have and have nots conversation of like, you know, the as a man, it's like, you know, like, oh yeah, well, one of the problems with being so tall when you're like a kid who hits puberty earlier, and all your buddies who have like their voices haven't even changed, are like, yeah, I can only imagine. Oh my God, it's just such a, I don't know, kids are so funny.
I know. I feel like there's like an age of boys where it's like one of them 6 foot, one of them looks like they're 9 years old. Like there's like such a range. That's why I love the movie Good Boys. They really nail the like the girls are taller than the boys.
Girls are a foot taller. Yeah. And you know what the thing is too? It's like there's a certain age for boys, like you were saying. That age, it's actually like a 6-year range.
Yeah.
Because the last one hit puberty like junior. Like one of my friends, I'm not going to say his name because I actually don't forget the exact year. But it's like if you look at pictures of all of our friends and stuff, you can just, if you look at it year by year, every now and then it's like one sprouts up 6 inches.
Yeah.
And then one of them, like, I swear to God, like junior year was like 5'6", and now he's like 6'1".
Yeah.
It just happens.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I did all my growing really early. Mm-hmm. Like I was over 5 foot in 5th grade.
I feel like that's a girl thing though.
Girls just kind of finish quick. And then.
Yeah. I feel like 25% of girls just are full grown in 6th grade.
Yeah. I think, and then basically when I got to high school, I was 5'6".
Yeah.
And then I grew 2 more inches and I ended up 5'8". Like,
was it a slow grow or?
I think it was a slow grow because I think my license, my first license might say it was 5'6" or 5'7".
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, I'm closer to 5'9", but I'm 5'8". Like,
I never know. That's also, so for me too, it's like when people ask how tall I am, it's like, so I'm 6'2", but that's such a.
I'm 6'2" my stomach.
Is that like a rap line or you?
No, I'm just like, I'm sick to my stomach.
You could be a rapper.
I could.
You should be one of those rappers.
I should be a rapper.
We have the equipment. We can make a little mixtape.
We should.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do like a real good like Valley Girl character
You
type
can nail
rapper.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
But sorry, go on.
It's just, I'm always conflicted. It depends on who I'm around when people ask me how tall I am. Because if I'm around a bunch of guys and, I say like I'm 6'2", all of a sudden, basically everybody looks like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
It's this weird, it's a really weird dynamic with guys. And it's only specific types of guys.
Yeah. I think it's just because so many guys lie about being 6 foot that it's like no one actually knows what 6 foot is.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm speaking of have and have nots, it's like, yeah, I'm well over 6 feet. So I'm privileged. I acknowledge my privilege.
#blessed.
Like, so to me, it's like, I don't care if you think I'm 6'1", 6. I don't, you
like,
can
okay.
think I'm 6'5". Great. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's just a funny thing for men.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm working on, I decided last night, this fall, I'm going to be more mysterious. I'm going to go.
Do tell, girl. Do tell.
No,
what does that mean?
I know I have to be mysterious about it. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I like that though. Yeah. You should be like, it's like, did you see, oh my God, the other day, the election's coming up on Tuesday, but did you see the thing where Trump said, he was like, to Speaker Mike Johnson or something, he's like, yeah, because we got a secret, don't we? Did you see the secret thing?
No, I didn't.
He's like, we got a special little secret and it's working out really well, isn't it, Mike? And then you don't see him, but you assume he nods. He's like, I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's like, oh, what the fuck? What is it?
What do you think his secret could be?
I don't know.
What if he brings out Beyonce?
What if that's like the October surprise? What if that's the October surprise? Wait, so go on though. You're mysterious.
I don't know. I just was thinking about it because I was like, I am a girl. I'd say I'm trying to be an Insta baddie or whatever. Like that's kind of my vibe. Like people, when they're like, oh, you do that stuff for a living, they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, but I don't really have like an Instagram aesthetic. I don't really like post too many pics. I kind of just like dick around online.
I was gonna say,
which is fun, but I feel like I should like lean into like an aesthetic this fall and like kind of be more mysterious and like I'm moving in silence.
As your, husband, I was gonna say, but ever since I was like your boyfriend and stuff, I've been saying this whole time, baby, be an Instagram baddie. You got it. Fucking rock it.
I'm just so shy. I'm just kidding.
Well, you get really nervous about stuff.
I do. I think because I went through the phase of like not really posting on Instagram too much. And like when I did post on Instagram, I like when I was like, especially first going on Instagram, I would post like once a month, it felt like. Yeah. And so I almost had this like every time I posted like a hit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And now I'm like, shit, I've done that to myself and I put way too much pressure on it, which is so stupid because it's Instagram.
Well, it's fun. It's funny, and this is maybe too inside baseball, and people don't give a shit. But it's like when we are making lots of content. Like I always said, like, oh yeah, we should do the podcast just because it'll help making other content.
Yes, and it has. Yeah,
because when we're making sketches and stuff, if like say we go on vacation, say there's for some reason it's been 3 weeks since we posted a video, and so it's like we've done nothing. It's really hard to post the next one because no matter what, I'm like, this one better be really fucking good. Yeah, and then I overthink it and then it sucks. I know. Every time.
I know. Guys, being on social media is really hard.
No joke. It really is. It actually, put it this way. We posted a sketch today and it's like, it's like it's doing well. Uh-huh. And now I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta do another one. Yeah. Like it just kind of never ends. And it's, I don't know. It's fucking, I have the best job, but still it's like,
but also I feel like when we're not making relatable stuff, we just make weird stuff, and I think the weird stuff is more fun. So
that works. This isn't type. We don't have to.
I know. Sorry, I feel like I'm having like a slow energy today. Hey, girl, maybe Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know.
Is it?
I actually don't think it is.
What does it mean when Mercury is in retrograde? What is actually?
That's a question for the witches.
Well, no, because that's what is the?
It's just like
I feel like that's more for the astronomers.
I think it's more of just like the placement and like where Mercury is and like you know how it's like like the moon does shit. Because it's
amen to that, sister. You know, the moon really is always be doing shit.
You know, the moon always do be doing shit. Like when it's like
waning, it's waxing.
When it's a full moon, the waves are bigger, like stuff like that. Yeah. It's like I think it just all depends about like where Mercury is. And like the effect it has on every, I like don't even want to explain this to you because I just feel
you're gonna get it wrong. There's no way.
I'm gonna get it wrong, and B, I feel like you're just not even gonna be into it.
Well, so. I was just genuinely curious. It's like everybody's always like Mercury's in retrograde. I'm like, what is that like from an astronomical standpoint? Like, what does that actually mean?
I think it's literally just like
Mercury's in a
like
mood.
the physical like placement of it, like wherever it's like in its rotation, it's like that is a placement in which things are thrown off. I think of it more almost as like solar flares, where it's like that like literally affects technology.
I'm going to guess, and I'm not going to look it up. So if you are watching and you can comment in some way, let me know if I'm right. I'm guessing retrograde means that Mercury is moving away from either us or the sun.
Something like that, yeah.
And sometimes it's moving closer. But I got no fucking clue. And you're right. I don't really care.
I mean, we're literally being fake posers today. We have our Leo and
oh my goodness,
Sagittarius mugs.
I love astrology so much. So my mug says Sagittarius. Here's my description. Independent, adventurous, positive. I've told you this before, baby. I would be a lot more into astrology if sometimes they were mean.
Yeah.
You know?
I did pull up your birth chart the other day.
Yeah.
And I do
tell.
I do want to do something
Did it
with
explain something?
reading. I'm trying to find like a fun way to incorporate this.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was very, very you. And it's not just like, oh, you're so great and so this. It's like, no, like here are your faults.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
So I'm like, I do want to show that to you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would be an interesting segment outside of you just being like hashtag so true.
Well, we can do it where I'll be like, no, I'll be the annoying me, the very logical, contrarian me to be like false. Yeah. But I wish that this mug that says Sagittarius, and then in the description there again, independent, adventurous, positive, if it also said like in a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
You know, a bit cunty.
Bit cunty.
You know, has his moods.
Has his moods.
Has mood swings.
Yeah.
You know, and short. I want that, because otherwise it just feels like a lot of people looking for positive.
Well, yours, I remember your chart that I was like, this is really true. It did say that like, it's like justice is really important to you. Like,
damn right.
Like in the way of like, you want to make sure everything's fair. So it's like, if even like, that's why it's like, you hate the mob mentality thing, where it's like, you're almost a contrarian to a lot of things because you want to make sure that everything is fair.
Okay. Maybe I'm in.
But
did it say I was handsome?
Yeah, it said you're so handsome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mine says I'm loyal, warm, and creative.
You are those things.
I'm so warm.
But can I say something?
What?
You also are independent, adventurous. Actually, no, you're not really.
No.
Okay, maybe it's real. Girl, maybe it's real.
Girl, when was the last time I was like, let's go on an adventure?
Never.
Exactly.
Literally never.
I literally don't want to go outside.
No.
I like, whenever we talk to like other couples about like where they're vacationing or honeymooning or whatever, they're always like you have really good friends who they went on a safari for their honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
That is not something we would do. You and me, this is like a huge part of why we work. We love big hotel chilling.
Oh, yeah.
We love to chill at the hotel.
When we go places,
it's for the hotel.
I'm literally looking forward to the hotel room.
Like
I never thought of it that way.
That's all we want to do on vacation. Can you think of somewhere we went on where we were like, we left the hotel really? Like, I guess when we went to Santa Rosa for Valentine's Day a couple years ago, we went to restaurants.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time,
different.
But it was like we wanted to hang out at the hotel because the hotel was great.
And you'll notice that we didn't go to a vineyard. We didn't go.
No.
We didn't actually go to a vineyard.
I don't know if that was the season.
It wasn't, but still, I don't know if we would have.
But we just like to chill at the pools at hotels.
The amount of times where couples are like, well, yeah, like I just love other couple activities because I think we're the weird ones. Mm-hmm. But just other couple was like, oh, we found a list of the best hiking trails and there's 30 of them and we've done 6. Yeah. And we're going to try to get all of them in the next year. And I'm like, please don't invite me. I'll turn you down.
If I ever start telling you, hey, I want to start like doing X, Y, and Z hikes and stuff like that. Yeah. I think you should take me to the hospital and check for brain tumor.
Probably.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
That would be such a personality switch for me.
And things like, you know me, like I would like to run up a mountain. That actually sounds really attractive to me.
But you don't really want to like go hike.
No, I don't want to walk. Yeah. I don't like, it feels like the most like half-assed adventure you could have. Like people acting like they're outdoorsy because they're walking on the guided trail.
Yeah.
Behind the divorced dad and his 3 kids trying to introduce them to his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
And their dog that should be on a fucking leash, buddy.
Should be on a goddamn leash.
Should be on a leash. And I don't
care if they're like, oh, he's so good. Other dogs aren't.
I know this is a little bit of a thing with me too, but it's like they're always a fucking pit bull too. And I'm like, I get it. You know what?
Well, they're just always big dogs.
They're always big dogs.
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. Because also like, what if I had a dog because that's always the thing is it's always people who then do have like reactive dogs. They put them on leashes and then another dog comes up and they're like, he's friendly. It's like, my dog's not.
Well, my dog's not. My dog's, if you haven't noticed, I have double leash on him and it's one of the ones that goes around the chest.
Yeah.
I'm about to pull his ass away and then your dog's going to lose it.
I know. Look, this one, especially Ducky.
Yeah.
She's so unfriendly.
She's so sweet. The two things I really don't like are one, and I've been on like fishing trips and stuff where I don't like those just because the captain and the people who are running the boat, they're fishing. You pull in the fish after they put it on. You did nothing. You just paid for a trip. You're on the ocean and you waited an excessively long time for a fish to bite. And now like I feel like embarrassed standing in front of
all these guys that just did the work.
Manuel being like, my fish. And it's like, he did it.
He did it.
Manuel did it.
Yeah.
Manuel's working look at Manuel's hands. It's just all callous.
Yeah.
Manuel's the fisher, not me.
He's so sun damaged because all he's done is been in the sun.
Yeah, he looks like you're like, wow, so when did you come over to this country? And he's like, first of all, brother, I'm from here.
Yeah.
And second of all, I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you gotta wear a hat or something.
You gotta wear some sunscreen.
Like just something. I'm not gonna tell anyone to wear sunscreen because that'd be hypocritical. I'm not a lotion guy.
I know.
But cover up.
Cover up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're just not outdoorsies.
And my second example is horseback riding. I love riding on horses.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for us to go on one, because we've done it together, to go on one like, hey, here's a horseback riding thing where they're like, okay, you're in a field.
Go.
We'll be back in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want that.
I want that.
I don't want to sit on a horse while...
We're all in a single file line.
Coincidentally, it's also always Manuel. Comes up and is kind of like making like noises at your horse. And I'm not even sure what my horse is doing. The horse and him...
They get it.
Are on the same page now about something.
I'm missing something.
I'm missing something. The whole point of what I'm saying is I'm not actually riding this fucking horse.
I know.
I'm sitting on top of a horse that basically Manuel is controlling with a remote control through his mouth. What do we like? And then I'll take a picture and be like, look at me, I'm a cowboy. No, I'm fucking not.
I know.
Manuel's the cowboy.
I saw a really good meme actually the other day that was like, it's like horses hearing men call dogs man's best friend after years of war together.
That's really good. That's real. Oh my God, that's so true.
Tom Brady kicked off Sad Girl Fall today. Did you see that?
No, I saw Giselle, right?
Oh yeah. So our girl Giselle, pregnant at 44.
On purpose, you think, or no?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure, but either way, the fact that, because I think she's like 5 or 6 months along, because obviously she's older, so before announcing.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's like, isn't the usual rule like 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months in general.
But it's like, I'm sure once you're past like 35, it's like, wait 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then once you get to 44, it's like, tell them when the baby is born.
It's like, she's got to be so unbelievably healthy though, that it's like, that womb's going to be good till she's 60. Like she is good to go.
Yeah. I definitely.
But yeah, so our girl Giselle is pregnant. Congratulations, Giselle.
Congrats,
girl. But so Tom Brady posted on his Instagram story today, picture of the sunset, with the song Landslide, the Chicks cover.
To my love and I took it down. The Chicks cover is better, by the way.
It is, right?
It's way better.
And then he just captioned it, "Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love?"
It's really hard for me not to sing the whole song.
I know. But I was like, Tom Brady just kicked off Sad Boy Fall.
Yeah. It's hard to feel bad for Tom Brady, though.
No, I don't feel bad.
Like, I don't really feel bad for him, but it's like, although at the same time, too, it's like everything's relative. Like,
no, absolutely. I'm sure he's bumped.
You and I had like I wouldn't call it an argument because it wasn't one of those things where it's like it was at each other, but a very heated debate one time of whose fault was it for their split, because Tom Brady went back to football.
Absolutely him.
And I said, like, he's the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah, but
he's still really good. I think it's
between him retiring the first time and now, was it worth it?
No, in hindsight, it wasn't. In hindsight, it wasn't, but because they lost in the playoffs and then he retired. But
yeah,
I don't know. It was one of those things too, where it was like, I mean, who are you to tell Michael Jordan to retire?
His wife?
I guess so. That was the debate. That was the debate.
Well, because she like basically stopped working so she could take care, like be with the kids and like all this stuff. And basically he was like, okay, I'm going to retire. And she was probably like, hell yeah.
She wasn't
let's
like,
do this. Come be with your family. Like, because that's such a crazy job he has, obviously.
Yeah.
She wanted him at home. She wanted to have their years together at home.
Yeah,
and
it was really tough to have him for 9 straight months out of the year where he doesn't have to go into work at any point.
But
those 3 months where he had to go in a lot.
But it was probably the thing of like, was constantly training still off. He was really taking care of his body, like doing all these things. It probably held him back in a lot of ways.
No, definitely.
And I think she was like, I really want us to like be a family.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to do it. And then he said, psych. And if I were her, I would have, I think, done the same thing.
I think...
Because the second she left, she like started working again. She was like,
what is this working thing though? It's like, it's not like...
She was like the top model in the world.
But she still was modeling. She still was making $1 bajillion.
She kind of like stopped though when they started having kids.
I thought that's where she became a really wealthy person with all her companies and whatnot.
I don't really think she has companies.
I thought she basically just stopped being like, okay, I'm going to go on the catwalk.
Yeah. It's like,
but like, as far as like work goes, I love what we do. Yeah. I really enjoy it. I would do it even if we weren't paid. Obviously, Tom Brady, like playing sports is legitimately the thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to stop playing sports. Yeah. It's such a passion. I just feel like there's a certain limit of like when I hear the thing where it's like he or she, put off work or quit their job or whatever. And it's like, isn't that like, and everything was paid for, so life's good. You're kind of living the vacation life.
Oh yeah, but
that's pretty sick.
But then again, it's like, well, she stopped her dreams for his dreams type thing. For their family. Her
dreams to be a runway model? I guess it's the same, but it's like, I think comparing those two dreams is a little bit of a stretch where it's like, one's a fun game and the other one is work.
What, modeling's work?
Yeah. One of them is more work, more tedious. And the other one's like, hey, let's go play ping pong.
Yeah. But I would do anything to be a freaking Victoria's Secret model or,
true.
The face of Chanel that she was. And
that is really true.
Stuff. Like that's.
Why did she stop?
Their family. She was like, I'm going to focus on being a mom and he's going to work. And
Kim Kardashian's the best mom. She's the busiest woman in the world.
Yeah, but she's a million nannies. And I think there's people who like don't want to do that.
They were nannyless.
I think they probably still had nannies, but
not, yeah. They only had like 3 or 4.
Yeah. But I'm sure they were like, she was like, we got to like wrap it up. And he was like, all right. And then he said, psych. And she was like, bye. Yeah. So I get it, but I don't know. But he's in his feels. Sad boy summer. Sad boy fall.
My last thought on that is I just think that I'm guessing there was a lot more stuff. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Right?
I don't know.
It just, that one thing of like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to play again. That feels real rash to be like divorce.
Well, I think because if I were her, I would have seen it as okay, so this is never going to end. Like this is the life that I've been wanting.
I was shocked when he came back. Everybody was.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for him actually at that time.
No, and it's like I definitely do feel bad because it's like that. Obviously, that's what he's passionate about, like all that stuff. But so we've got a new competition going on online right now.
Do tell.
Our favorite Ray Gunn decided to have her own dance competition.
She's embracing
it. There was a $15,000 cash prize. She said, if you think it's so hard, why don't you do it?
Or if you think it's so easy.
If you think it's so easy, you think you could do this. How about you guys compete? And there's basically like a hashtag you could use online. I just want to know who is judging this competition and is Ray Gunn going to win again?
Is there anything? So when they said like, okay, it's going to be breakdance an Olympic sport, that had to be the new Olympic sport where the most people in the world were like, what the fuck? I'm better than this. How come I didn't know that this was happening?
I know, right?
Were there tryouts? I feel like it was announced like 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah, they just were like, hey. Well, apparently there were tryouts and she just was like...
In Australia, yeah. But when did we hear about that? And like, maybe they...
I don't know. Because I feel like we have so many amazing breakdancers that it should have just been like a blowout.
It's like if magic was an Olympic sport and then like David Blaine didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's so many of those like crazy things. Look at none of the Jabberwockies.
Yeah.
Not one Jabberwocky was invited.
Jabberwockies?
They were Jabberwocky-less.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Silliness.
That just reminded me of another story for you. So we had a little bit of an altercation this past weekend at a Halloween party. It was Diddy's sons attempted to fight Ray J at one of these like agency Halloween parties. But don't worry, a hero stepped in to stop it.
Wait. This is. I mean, it's not like we know that they did anything like that, but it's like it was an agency Halloween party, you said?
Yeah, like the unruly agency. They have like a bunch of people under them.
They thought it was a good idea to invite Diddy's kids?
They're probably under them or something like that.
Well, they probably were, but they didn't think like, hey, you know what? Given the fact that your dad is basically somewhere between, we're not really sure, Jeff Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. Maybe you shouldn't show your face for just like a little bit. Like, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. You guys are victims too, but
yeah.
And if you do come, don't fight with the guy who did a sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
If you could just not do that.
Yeah.
There's really one thing that they needed to not do.
But don't worry though, because the fight didn't happen.
Okay.
Because someone stepped in.
Who stepped in?
If you had to think of a celebrity who is like so anti-violence and like all this stuff, who do you think stepped in to stop the fight between P. Diddy's sons and Ray J?
Honestly, is it Zoe Kravitz?
No.
Oh my God. Is that not the exact person though?
Yes. Which Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum broke up their engagement today.
I saw that and I was like, wait, I always forget they're together. I forget she's like a real person. She's
I know.
too cool.
She's so cool.
But like, and I'm saying it almost in a negative way of like, you're literally too cool.
No, she's literally too cool.
Yeah. Like, do you remember 5 Gum?
Yeah.
Where all the commercials like, it's so fucking minty, you'll die. And it's like, then I don't want to chew it. You know?
And that's basically Zoe Kravitz.
Chewing 5 Gum is it's so extreme. It's like being on a roller coaster. It's like, that's not what I'm using gum for.
You're an iceberg.
I'm not using gum for that.
Yeah.
You know? So why would bad ads, cool advertisement, but I didn't buy it because of that.
Okay. So the celebrity, it's a man.
Mm-hmm. Is also in the rap game?
Yes, in the hip hop world.
Hip hop world.
I'd say hip hop, R&B, just really really just not a violent person.
Chris Brown, get the fuck out. Honestly, that's kind of who you need. Because if Zoe Kravitz stepped in the middle, she gets hurt. I don't even think they notice her.
No, she's too small.
If like fucking Dr. Phil steps in,
yeah,
you know, shut up, Phil. You kind of need. He's got real fight and street cred. You know.
You know, it's gone too far when Chris Brown steps in.
I know for a fact that he has hit someone in his life.
Yeah.
So I don't know that about.
We are aware he's hit.
He at least has a few punches that we know. Don't agree with the punches. In fact, I really condemn the punches. I can't believe he's still a fucking thing. It's nuts. I can't believe he's a thing just from his name alone. I like Chris Brown. You couldn't have come with a better. That's the person who needs a rap name.
Yeah.
What's Cardi B's real name?
Belcalis.
But she goes by Cardi B.
Because her sister's name is Hennessy. So it's like Hennessy and Bacardi.
I love that.
And so she's Cardi B instead of Bacardi, you know.
I absolutely love that. And I love Cardi B, and you know this. But the fact that she felt like she needed a rap name and Chris Brown was like, why?
Well, he's not really a rapper, though. He's more of a singer.
Okay.
So I feel like they tend to use their real names.
You know what I mean?
Unless you're like Neo.
Is his name not Neo?
I don't think. Is it his name Neo?
I have no idea.
I gotta look up Neo's real name.
But see, Neo's real name, I bet, is going to be cooler than Chris Brown.
Neo.
There are like 5 million Chris Browns.
Schaefer Smith.
See? Schaefer Smith. But Schaefer Smith is kind of a cool name.
Yeah, that is actually.
Schaefer SH or SCH?
SH.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like SCH a little better, but go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess he's a singer more than a rapper.
Zoe Kravitz is just too cool though.
But that sparked my brain though because of the Ray Gun. I was like, man, we could have sent Chris Brown to the Olympics. He's a really, really good dancer.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
But he couldn't go because I don't think he's allowed into all these countries because of his rap sheet. Well, unfortunately.
Yeah, but remember there was that. Fuck what country? What sport? There was an Olympian this year where it was like, oh yeah, convicted rapists.
Yeah, like child too, or something like that.
Yeah. Which again, actually, I don't even want to speak on it too much because I don't know all the details, and I don't want to like. For all we know, it was like he was 18, she was 17. They were. I don't
think that's what it was.
Yeah, people probably would have.
Yeah,
people probably would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
I have one election thing that we can cut.
Okay, election's coming up.
And I'm
really, really bummed that we won't be together. Because we've been talking about election day all year.
I love election day.
I love election day. It's like, it's such like an intense, like that's kind of like the closest thing I think I'll get to sports.
It's election day to me. It's NFL red zone.
Yeah.
Where I'm just all day and I kind of have like FOMO the whole time of like, should I be on that channel? Should I be on that channel? I just want to see. And they really do just edge you the whole time.
They do.
They're like, yeah, well, it'll be another 12 hours before the numbers come in. It's like, well, take a guess.
Yeah. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah. What were the
Show me numbers, boy.
Show me. Yeah. Yeah, numbers, boy. I love the numbers guys. It's their super. I mean, they're the Scott Hansons of.
I know they got their little smart boards.
Yeah.
Did you have smart boards when you were?
No.
Okay.
That is new technology.
Every now and then there was like a class in like junior high or high school that like the school funding would allow one smart board for one class or whatever. And I remember it was like such a big deal. The smart boards were always having problems. Just stick with the whiteboard.
Well, they were kind of the beta tests.
Yeah.
Now I imagine they're probably pretty good.
Probably.
But who knows?
Who's to say?
Yeah, the good ones are probably real expensive. But so the election, so two things really quick. I've said on this podcast before, and I'll say it again. One of my least favorite things, I find it funny, but one of my least favorite things is for whatever reason, every time a celebrity endorses someone, it's like news.
Yeah.
As if we all didn't know that there were some new ones this week.
Oh, there's some more.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, we fucking know.
Yeah.
We know Leo.
He basically just gave his social medias to the climate activists being like, just have it.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't think he cares / knows what's going on with the environment, but he's some like, oh my God, he's an environmental activist.
His management was basically like, you have to do something besides just movies. And he was like, why? And they're like, just fucking, we'll set it up.
Yeah. And people are always like, he is like a real activist. I'm like, this guy is on a yacht with 20-year-olds every weekend. He's leaking so much gasoline into the ocean.
He is destroying the world.
There's no more coral reefs because of Leonardo DiCaprio and his 19-year-old girlfriends.
And if you say like what was it, the royal like Harry and two of the royal people, one of the couples, basically was criticized because they were going to a climate conference in a big jumbo jet, and they were like, yeah, but like you have to think about it like the math of it. It's like actually us going there and us speaking, like it net helps, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, PEMDAS, but what if you went by bicycle? Probably be even more PEMDAS, huh?
Yeah. You should pull a page out of Mike Posner's book and walk.
Fucking walk across the country. Do it. I love Mike Posner.
Me too.
But anyway, what was I gonna say? There was a great documentary. It was like climate change, whatever, and it was like by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Uh-huh.
There's the funniest clip of him in a helicopter with serious climate people, and they're going over a volcano, and Leonardo DiCaprio goes, "Whoa, it looks like Mordor," and the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "You know, like from Lord of the Rings?" And the guy's like, "I haven't seen it." He's like, "Oh, it looks like Mordor," and they left it. They left it in, and it was like he is not aware what he's doing. They're making him do it, and he's like, "Why?" And it's just funny. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Sarah Jessica Parker, Ariana Grande. It's like, yes, guys, we fucking know. But there was one this week where it's like, that's what the story is.
Uh-huh.
The Insane Clown Posse. They're endorsing Kamala.
Yeah. See, that's what's interesting to me. I like that.
I wouldn't know who they would. I didn't know who they'd be for. Would you have guessed Trump?
No, actually. I just would have been like, they wouldn't have endorsed anyone.
They'd be like Jill Stein people.
Yeah.
You know? Because let's face it. If there's anybody,
is Jill Stein still at it?
Oh yeah,
she's still on the ballot every year.
Oh yeah, Jill's never gonna stop.
It's her turn.
It is her turn. There should be a thing where it's like, who's next in line? Well, you add up all her votes over the decades, but Jill Stein, I figured they'd be like her because it's like if there's anybody who's like, no, fuck you, we're gonna vote third party.
Yeah.
It's the weirdos who drink off-brand soda, listen to shitty music, and cover their faces with really insane makeup, and then are like, why are you guys all looking at me? Yeah. That is a Jill Stein voter to me.
Yes.
You know? That's people who are like, we don't like the binary system.
Yes.
But no,
that's an interesting endorsement.
Yeah.
If you're in an interesting category, I want to hear your endorsement.
I want to read that article. Why?
Other than that, yeah, I don't really care what who celebrities are endorsing.
It's just always so fun. And also we're officially too in the week where it's like the thing I hate even more, because I think it's just the social media companies are just cranking it up. You can't open a fucking thing without a different celebrity having an I voted sticker and everybody liking it. So okay.
They voted.
They vote. Oh, what are you?
But they're a hero. They voted.
They're a hero.
I know. I just saw Selena Gomez post. She voted after some Disney event that she did yesterday. She was still in her like gown and everything. And she was like at the mailbox putting it in.
She went all the way to the mailbox.
She did.
Wow. That's hard work.
Mm-hmm. And then she captioned it with a blue heart.
Yeah.
So I think that's an endorsement.
Wait, you think she voted for Kamala? Are you sure?
She put a blue heart. So
how much would you bet? Is there a celebrity / influencer? Is there one though where it's like, if they said, I'm voting for this person, take out pretend we're in the Bush Gore days.
Yeah, pretend it's a different election, basically. Yeah. Like, who would affect me?
Or even better, H.W. Bush Clinton. An election where I wasn't even alive, but if this was a time for people who don't realize, if H.W. Bush won or if Clinton won, they were both going to do the exact same thing. They were basically the same guy. It wouldn't really affect anything. Mm-hmm. What is is there an influencer that you would listen to?
For me, it would probably be Kim Kardashian.
Honestly, I get that.
I trust Kim, and I know a lot of people like to brag on her, but the thing is, because she's so controversial, she has to do her research and she has to be right every time.
Yeah.
If she does anything slightly wrong, she hears it.
It's like McDonald's.
She gets beat up way more than everyone else. So if she has done the research and I will listen.
If you're ever in a foreign country and you don't want to get sick, you're worried about getting sick eating food, go to the McDonald's, because McDonald's is too big. They can't fuck up and have food poisoning stuff going on. Mm-mm. Although right now, that's funny. They have a little issue going on right now with the E. coli. But
who about you? Who would you listen to?
Besides Mark Ruffalo, I don't know if anybody. Like, I don't know if there's one person, but I think
Scott Hansen.
Yeah, probably actually.
Colin Cowherd?
No.
No.
I disagree with a lot of what Colin Cowherd says.
Where Colin was right or Colin was wrong?
She's wrong all the time, but you know what it is? He calls it. Calls it out when
he does.
Other guys don't.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody like Scott. I want somebody who is the people I really like are the people who are legitimately really passionate about stuff, about what they do. And I'll follow those people anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you really care.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even know if Scott Hansen he probably has social media, but I think he's more like Leo, where he's like, how do you use this thing?
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyway, so that was one of the election things. The other election thing I want to talk about. So I've read this story like 5 times in the last day waiting for this podcast. And I'm like already starting to tear up. It makes me laugh so hard. So this is, Michaela knows, if you don't know, when I'm when I'm going to laugh like really, really hard, I like legitimately start crying because I'm like trying to hold it back. So I didn't even know they were having this, but Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. Do you see the Nickelodeon? I guess every 4 years they do the Nickelodeon Kids Pick the President poll.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Kamala won.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah. Here's why I'm laughing so hard. It was a nail biter. She won 52 to 48. 48% of kids. This was a really close race. It's
a nail biter.
So all day I've been thinking about
even the kids
half of the kids being like MAGA, half the kids being like, well, the border, and then half the kids being like Kamala, being like, well, joy,
or healthcare is at stake. Those kids care about
burdens, whatever. It's like, but also it's like, but the kid, you want to talk about. I'm such a contrarian. I'm not going to be influenced by, if anything, it'll be the opposite. If you tell me too many, if every celebrity is telling me to do something, for the most part, for most things, I'm like, well, then I'm not going to buy an electric car, because what are they getting out of this? This feels like I'm getting screwed. And I'm wrong, by the way. Yeah. I admit that I'm wrong, but I will always have that feeling. Kids are not that way, and these kids follow Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, all of them. They're all doing I voted for Kamala. 48% of them said, fuck that bitch.
That's
MAGA.
Hilarious.
And I just can't stop thinking of like little little third grade Trump fans.
Did you ever do the mock elections in school, like elementary school?
Every election or every 4 years, yeah.
I feel like I only remember doing it once, and it was Obama and McCain.
We did it for Obama and McCain as well.
Yeah.
I think I voted for McCain.
I voted for Obama because I thought he was hot.
Yeah, because you're a child and you're not like me. So I voted for McCain, I think, because I remember in my school, it was like they did a school-wide thing. And it was like, okay, and then we'll tally it all up. And it was, shocker, 100% Obama. Actually, you know what? I think one classroom, I forget how they divided it up. I think one classroom voted for McCain. And I remember cheering, being like, I feel bad for this. Like, this is not, it's not good to have, especially, it's not like this upcoming election where it's so divisive. Obama versus McCain, they really were not that different of people.
No.
It shouldn't be.
It was a very civil.
It shouldn't be 100% to 0%. Nothing should be in that way. And it was just felt so silly being like, why are we doing this if it's going to be 100 to 0? Let's just not do it next time.
Let's just not do it.
Because clearly we know what's going to happen. I just remember, I think I filled it out for McCain. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Just like, he's got to have some votes out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't want John to get sad.
I remember there's one kid in my class, and he said, well, I don't want an old guy running the country. And you know what? He was onto something.
There is real argument there.
That kid has since gone to jail a couple times, but he was onto something early on. He can't vote anymore.
I was thinking about this too. I feel like they're throwing out convicted felon about Trump a little bit too. Don't you feel like that would kind of hurt some voter chance?
Yeah.
I feel like all of the people who are felons or friends or family with felons are kind of like, why are you like throwing that out there like it's saying he's a rape, like something, saying it's he was convicted of something,
like
yeah. Like I just always feel like every now and then politicians will throw stuff out where I'm like, I'm not really sure.
I feel like we just need to all kind of like lean more into the like, it's funny that it's cop and felon.
Yeah.
You know, because I really liked, it was like last election when she was the pick for VP, all of the like the Kamala memes that were like, we're all going to jail. Like I thought those were the funniest memes ever.
Well, especially because at the time too, like her whole, they even more so leaned into the fact that she was a prosecutor. Man, if she doesn't win, they're going to, blame a bunch of things, but it's just like, nah, this was impossible.
Yeah.
She had to be different, but also, different than the current president, but also,
she couldn't
say that everything was great.
Yeah. She couldn't go against him. She is in a really tough place.
The toughest position possible. And even just her in general, it's like, she's a pretty progressive as far as Democrats go.
Yeah.
Wanting to legalize things and amnesty and all those things like that. But also, she was a prosecutor. So it's like, so which one are you? Which hat are you going to wear? And I was thinking about this today. It's like the campaign, when they're like, okay, she's the candidate. There were these like, do we go to the left side or the right side for all of these decisions?
Yeah.
And I feel like they were so worried about picking the wrong side and then everybody blaming them for picking the wrong side. They're like, what if we just go really slowly through the middle? And it's like, and just hit every object that's through the middle and then get blamed for both.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
guys.
That's okay. Well, we'll see. Well, we'll see how it goes.
The kids were a split decision. I don't think that's a good sign for Kamala, honestly.
You're calling it a nail biter?
It was a nail biter. 52 to 48. Two celebrities this week. There were stories about them came out.
Okay.
And they're two of the most relatable stories, things where I was like, he and I are on the same page. So two. Tim Burton said he avoids the internet because it makes him depressed. Tim Burton, never thought he and I would see eye to eye. I don't really like creepy stuff.
I was going to say, I feel like his whole vibe is kind of a little dark, so.
Yeah. But maybe he doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it's not like people who make horror movies are like always scared or always trying to scare people in real life or something.
Yeah.
That always was interesting to me where it's like
Stephen King's just kind of a guy.
So that's one. Liam Neeson.
Okay.
So he said, you actually texted this to me. He said that he's done with dating at 72.
Yes. And then did you see his follow-up after that?
No.
He said, was it Pamela Anderson? He's like, I'm in love with my co-star.
Oh, really?
I think
I could see them getting together.
Because I think they just did
She acted in a movie?
The Last Showgirl is a new movie coming out. And then I'm like, is that what I'm thinking? Or was it I think it was Pamela Anderson.
It probably was. I did see Pamela Anderson saying something about Liam Neeson that was positive.
Okay, then they're definitely in that movie together.
Yeah, and I think I assumed.
And for the trailer, I was like, or just from like the teasers, I was like, I feel like I'm really going to like this movie.
It's either going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. The thing though is, while Pam Anderson is an icon, mm-hmm. she was never really known for her acting skills.
Yeah. But it kind of feels like a role for her.
Yeah.
And
like maybe she knocks out of the park.
That's why I kind of think I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. It's like, I hope this is amazing. And it's like Pamela Anderson wins an Academy Award because she would if she's good.
Yes.
It's just, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if she's good.
But yeah, Liam Neeson. I couldn't believe how old he was.
72.
Crazy.
I would have guessed like early 60s.
Me too. He looks great.
So was he like 60 when he did Taken?
I guess.
That's older than you'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assumed when he was Qui-Gon Jinn in speaking of Star Wars, 1999. So that's what, 25 years ago? Mm-hmm. So 67. If he was 47?
Damn.
When he was Qui-Gon Jinn?
Huh.
He was 47 when Bush won for the first time. What is happening?
What is going on?
What? Huh. Anyway, he says he's done dating at 72. I get that. And it's like I've always said to you, every time you're like, you're always worried if I'm going to cheat. I honestly, I think if anything ever happens, I don't know if it's a lot. I don't know if I
basically just was like, I'm your girlfriend now to you. And you were like, okay.
That's really nice. I like it a lot.
I didn't really play a whole lot of like a game with you to be like, ooh, like come and chase me. I just kind of was like, I like you. You're mine now.
I think I told you too. I would want to think I would, but I don't know how much chasing energy I have as far as like, especially if it's silliness. Like if I can tell it's like manufactured, like I feel like I feel like that's a problem with the current dating world of like constantly like, it's like for guys, it's the negging thing.
Yeah. People
are trying to neg. It's kind of a similar idea of that and come and get me like, ooh, maybe I'm out with somebody else, whatever. If I think you might be out with somebody else, I'm like, she's out with somebody else. I guess it's over. I guess it's fucking over. I don't know. And it's not me being like, no, I don't want it. It's me accepting defeat. Yeah. I'm realistic.
I know.
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, hey, by the way, I'm your girlfriend now. And you were like, okay, awesome.
Great. Yeah. No, that to me is so relatable. I've just like, I can't imagine texting people for non-informational reasons. I just can't imagine like, ooh, what word should I use here? Like, it's always been exhausting to me. But when we were first getting together, we were like, it was like, young love, early love, and we weren't living together and stuff like too. Like, yeah, like my eyes were so big with it that it was like really fun. I wanted to do this and I didn't want to fuck it up and all those things. But now that we're married, and it'd be different. Like if it was like for whatever reason, like one of us had to leave for like 6 months, it would come back if we weren't together.
Yeah.
But now that we're married, I'm just like, I can't imagine. I get it, Liam. I get it.
You get it.
Yeah. The only other thing I have written down is, it's sad, but the point of it isn't sad. I read a story today. A photographer was killed in Kansas after walking into a plane propeller. And it made me realize, I think has always been, but I never really thought it out loud and voiced it, one of my biggest fears in life.
Yeah.
Like my biggest fear with helicopters irrationally has never been they might crash or something. It's the
propeller.
The propeller might hit me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's valid.
Yeah. And you know what it might stem from? You've been to my grandma's house at point, like many times now at this point. But at my grandma's house, in the kids' room, there's just a bunch of bunk beds and a bunch of pull-out beds. It's like a way for, in a kind of smaller bedroom. How can we fit, 18 grandkids in this one room?
Yes.
One of the bunk beds has the funniest placement where it's just like, it's a tall bunk bed. It's not that tall of a ceiling. So you only got like 3 feet at most of room if you're sitting on the bed before you hit the ceiling. And there's just a fan right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I've been hit in the head with that fan so many times.
I've done that before. I've done like the jump on the bed into the...
Monkeys didn't teach you no lesson, did you?
No, they didn't.
Did you hear the story about the monkeys?
No. I've heard it. I just didn't...
What's the lesson of that story?
Don't jump on the fucking bed.
But like, yes. But is there not also like another lesson of like...
Listen to your parents, maybe?
But each time the next monkey didn't listen.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of
like...
Is there a further message?
Maybe to pay attention to your learn through others, maybe?
I think it's more insulting to monkeys.
Or is the lesson to the reader that people need to learn their own lessons in order for them to get the message?
Now we're cooking. That's great. I like that. That's okay. That's what I'm going to say from now on.
Because that's what I always think when like people are like, oh, like we're telling her not to date this guy, like he's a bad guy or whatever. And it's like that you could all tell her that he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But she's not going to dump him until she sees it and she's ready.
Yeah.
And she's ready to like leave.
Yeah.
She has to learn her own lesson because people don't understand it until they go through, objectively these things.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to bump your head. You have to fall off the bed in order for you to learn.
Did you not hear the story about the monkeys?
Yeah, the
monkeys.
monkeys.
As we say, people have to learn themselves. It's like the
Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Well, the doctor, who is a teledoctor, by the way.
They were ahead of the curve.
Really early. And then the mom, who, by the way, was the dumbest fucking woman alive, said, doctor.
Is she a human or a monkey?
I picture her as human, but it's a monkey. It's a monkey. I assume everybody's monkeys in the story. I would hope so.
Or is this like a Curious George situation?
It might be a George. Maybe George was one of the monkeys.
Maybe.
And then he got so knocked loose with concussion stuff that people call it curious. I call it not remembering where he lives. But George, can you imagine being the doctor the third time and the mom be like, I don't know what happened. My child monkey was jumping on the bed and he fell off and he hit his head really hard. He's in real trouble. And the doctor said, like, what should I do? And he's like, stop, keep them from jumping on the fucking bed. And then call him. Another one was jumping on the bed. His head's hurt again. What should I do?
Yeah.
He's like, it's a concussion. There's really not much you can do at this point. We can take him into an MRI once insurance clears it in the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, not bright lights, chill, nothing too sensory. And then most importantly, just to prevent it in the future, don't let them jump on the fucking bed again, Mom.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
And then Mom says, guys, the doctor said this. And then she just turns her back. And it's like, I think your dumbass monkey kids are going to do it again. I think they are.
There too.
Call me crazy. I think they're gonna do it again.
I think we need to get those monkeys out of the bedroom. We need to close the door. Say we're playing in the common spaces.
Yeah, it's like but it's also the lesson you were saying that I'm gonna quote that from now on. I'm gonna say that's the lesson behind it because it just seems like a really memorable story. Like everybody remembers this story which seems kind of silly considering if the lesson is just to not jump on the bed. Like I feel like there should be more powerful. Aesop's fables with their monkey allegories were you had a bigger meaning, but the Native American thing they always said where it's like, don't tell your kids to not touch the fire, let them touch the fire so that they can know it's hot. I love that whenever people are like, oh, it's the Native American thing, as if there weren't 10,000 different tribes, as if they all were a monolith.
They all use the exact same thing.
They all were basically the same, but yeah, so that's why Native Americans are really good with fire and why a lot of them were covered in burn scars apparently.
Yeah.
Because they want to tell them not to touch the fucking fire. I'm going to do that when we have kids, I'm going to do that a lot. It's like, don't tell them. Like,
let them figure it out.
Let them just use the knife willy-nilly. No.
I will not. I will be a helicopter mom. But no.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. I want my shriek to be in the back of their head for their entire adult life when they're about to do something dangerous.
You don't want to shriek too often though. Because it loses the value of the shriek. It does lose
value, that's true.
It's like houses where parents yell constantly. Eventually, the kid just gets really okay with hearing yelling.
Yeah. Oh my God, remember that one time we're at the airport and that mom was just yelling at her kid?
Yeah.
And I was like, lady, you're the one making a public disturbance right now. That kid did not give a fuck.
No. The kid could get... I said to you, I was like, I'm sure that kid has been yelled at 40 times today.
Yeah.
At home, here, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
No.
to the kid. Now he's numb to it.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to yell at him again?
Yeah. Now you're just yelling in an airport.
Yeah. Now you are causing a scene. Okay, so are you ready for this week's sports gossip?
Hit me, sister.
Okay, so this is the first time you've seen this segment. Basically, I love football. You don't love football. I found out the only way to get you interested in football is if I deliver the news to you like it's gossip.
Yes.
So we need to talk about the New York Jets again.
Oh.
I know. Well, because we just...
That's A-Rodge's team?
A-Rodge's team, the drama queen himself. He's first team All-Pro, first team All-Drama. We just talked about them like only a few weeks ago, but it's like, honestly, girl, at this point, they feel less like an NFL team. They feel more like a, trashy novel that you would buy at the airport to read at the beach. Like it.
Are they being like Bad Girls Club?
It's just juicy. It's
Yeah.
just every day there's another thing coming out of the locker room.
Yeah.
And so I just have a lot of stuff, but let's rewind.
Okay.
Let's go back.
Yeah. Give me the backstory.
Okay. So in 2023, the Jets signed Aaron Rodgers. Okay. And when they did, they just gave him the keys to the castle, basically. He's currently the oldest player in the NFL. He's a legend. He's won 4 MVPs. He's won a Super Bowl, but it's like, he's one of the GOATs, they say. So they just gave him the keys to the castle, which is interesting because it's not like he's Tom Brady or like Peyton Manning, where it's like, no, this guy's got a head on his shoulders. Aaron Rodgers has done ayahuasca, which, like, not judging it, you do you, get through whatever.
Yeah.
He's done darkness retreats. He's dated Danica Patrick, as if that's weird. But he has dated Shailene Woodley.
That is true.
That's weird.
That was a little funky.
Honestly, that's a red flag for me. That's a big red for my quarterback. I don't want a quarterback dating Shailene Woodley. She's kind of cuckoo.
They like just kind of seemed like they didn't even really like each other. That was like weird.
Yeah.
Both of them just looked like miserable.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
They're both kind of miserable people. And so they signed this guy. They signed him to be the quarterback of the team. They gave him the keys to the castle. And by that, I mean, they got rid of their offensive coach and signed one of his best friends, Nathaniel Hackett, to be the new offensive coach.
Yes, I remember this. That bitch.
And they also signed a bunch of like his other besties at like receiver who were all way too old. No other team would have taken them, but he's like, no, I want them. Come along. He came to the Jets with an entourage. Like he was Ariana Grande going to a movie premiere, like real diva.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay. But it was, again, whatever. But it's like the hype was so real for the Jets. They've been such an unfortunate franchise this whole time. They've been like so depressed that it was like Super Bowl or bust. This is our year. We're a quarterback away. Aaron Rodgers, he's our guy. And then 4 plays into the season in 2023, his first season, he tears his Achilles, out for the season. Done.
I remember that.
I've never laughed harder.
Yeah, that was kind of absurd.
And it wasn't even because I was like, ha ha ha. It was more like, you can't write this shit.
Yeah.
It was absolutely, and right beforehand too, the fact that it was, I think on 9/11, he ran out.
Yes.
Literally like 15 minutes before he tears his Achilles in the 4th play of the season, he runs out with an American flag into the middle of the field like he's Hulk Hogan or some shit.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. But it was like, okay, so a year goes by, everybody comes back, same coaching staff, same players for the most part. It's like, okay, forget last year. Super Bowl or bust. This is our year.
New year, new me.
New year, new me. Exactly. But it wasn't New Year, new me. It was Aaron Rodgers, same Aaron Rodgers. Same Aaron Rodgers, same Aaron Rodgers. That's basically what it was. In the first 5 games of the season, things are not going according to plan. Oh. They had 2 wins, 3 losses, and one of their wins was against the New England Patriots, who suck. Everybody's like, they're kind of freaking out, but they're still the 2-3. They still can make the playoffs. I mean, like, it's only 5 games left, or we're only 5 games into the season. There are 12 games left. There's still plenty of time. Like if you win 2 more games, you're in the playoffs. Like in the playoff hunt, essentially already.
Yeah.
But they're panicking a little bit, so they fire their head coach, Robert Saleh, bald cutie, Robert Saleh.
Yes, cutie down. Remember him.
And it's like, okay, cool. He's the problem. He was the problem. Now we're good to go. Super Bowl or bust, baby. But no, because then the next week they lose to the Bills, right? And it was like, well, wait, but we fired Robert Saleh. What's wrong?
It's almost like he wasn't the problem.
Yeah, they're like, Aaron Rodgers, what's wrong? Because we hired your buddies.
Yeah.
We signed your friends. We fired the coach you didn't want to be around. But we're still losing. What could it be?
Like, what is that?
Because we know it's not you.
Avi.
No.
You could never be the problem.
Girl, no.
Girl,
don't say that.
Literally.
Yeah.
You're never the problem. It's always him,
Positive self-image. I feel like Aaron Rodgers meets with a SoulCycle instructor who just every day is like, thank yourself for today.
Yes.
Be appreciative of the fact that you're here. And he's like, I will do that.
Yeah.
But so A-Raj, everybody's like, well, wait, why did we lose again? He was like, no, I got it. What you need to do is trade a bunch of stuff for my real best friend. Like I'm talking like his BFFFFFF.
Like his ride or die.
His one and only, Devontae Adams, who we've also talked about on Sports Gossip in the past.
We have.
So they traded for him and they got Devontae Adams. And everybody was like, all of a sudden, if you're an online sports bettor, it was like, okay, odds skyrocket. Jets, Super Bowl bound, Super Bowl or bust, baby.
Yeah.
But they lose again. How could they lose when they have all of Aaron Rodgers, everything Aaron Rodgers wanted? They're still losing. So they lost to the Steelers. And then they didn't make any changes because they're more like, that was a fluke. Yeah, we're 2-5. But like we could come back. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We still have 10 games left. Oh my God, we're 2-5. We could be 12-5 at the end of this. And then this past Sunday, remember the team that I said that like really sucked? The Patriots.
Yeah.
Well, they lost to the Patriots.
Okay.
So, I'm not like a mathematician, but it's like if you look at the trend, they're getting worse.
It's like the math isn't mathing.
Math isn't really mathing.
Yeah.
And now we're sort of looking like everybody's sort of like looking at like who to blame, and fingers are being pointed. But we're also out of fingers.
Yeah, we're out of fingers
because we've pointed at everything, except for then we do after we don't have any fingers left to point. We look at whose hands have the fingers.
Because when you point your finger, you've got 3 pointing back at you. So
that's so true. Girl, that is so deep.
So I would say 4, but your thumb doesn't point back.
Aaron needs to like learn that lesson.
He does.
Yeah. And so now we're in a really awkward phase where it's like any other team, if it was the Chiefs, it was any other team, whatever.
But
because it's like next year. Okay. This year's over. Move on to next year. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old and he's not like a Tom Brady, like young 40 years old. Like he's a grizzled, like Sam, who's the guy with the mustache?
Sam Elliott.
He's like a grizzled, like Sam Elliott 40, you know, where it's like, okay, you're weathered.
Yeah.
Put on some sunscreen.
Q.
Yeah.
What happened to Bald King Robert Saleh? Where did he go?
Bald King Robert Saleh. Well, first of all, Bald King Robert Saleh is making $20,000 a day from the Jets, and he will be continuing to do that for the next 2 years. So
yes, good for him.
He's good. He also has like 7 kids, I think. 7 or 8. Yes. I might be undercounting that. He might have 8 kids.
Wow.
In which case, just like good for the family, good for the Saleh family. He was last seen, I believe. I think he might be working now for the Packers. Which the funny part of that is that's where Aaron Rodgers used to play.
Oh, actually, I did know that.
So now, in many ways, it's kind of like the Packers traded their quarterback, who's really toxic and just kind of sucks, for a new defensive coach who's by everyone's considerations elite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like when your bestie like finally gets rid of her toxic boyfriend and then suddenly it's like a really wholesome one.
It's exactly that.
And it's literally like, oh my God, girl, good for you. You're glowing.
I could not have said it better myself. That's exactly what it is.
That's literally what happened.
And then actually one other sports gossip thing, because we've had some people asking about this. So there was a game this week that was really fun. It was between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
So why it was interesting is because the quarterbacks for both teams were both rookies, and not only are they rookies, they are the first and second picks in this year's draft.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, here we go. Like, which one's better? And it was Chicago Bears who were 4-2, and the Washington Commanders, who I believe were 5-1 or 4-2. I'm not even gonna say it. Anyway, the game was like really tight, really close. Washington was leading basically the entire game, and then at the very end, Caleb Williams, who's the quarterback for the Bears, who is kind of like an interesting character himself. Like there was like a whole thing where like last year when he was playing for USC, there was kind of a scandal where it was like, do you really want this guy to be your quarterback? And it was like after he lost, like he went into the stands and like he was hugging his mom and he was crying, and everybody was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. But at the same time too, it's like, I don't really want that for my leader of men.
I think that's really sweet.
Well, there's a difference though between being like in touch with your feelings, because it's like, I get that, girl.
Yeah.
And everybody should be.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I don't know, like kind of like be a man and like, cry in solace. Stoic cry.
You stoic cry?
Yeah.
Cry to yourself.
I mean, nothing makes me cry more than when I see another, a tough man one tear.
Yeah.
But if I see a just sort of regular guy like blobbering, I'm like, get it together, bud.
It's okay. Let him cry.
I do. I'm not going to like go and interfere. Anyway, so he cried with his mom. And also there was like a bunch of stuff where like his nails were painted all the time, but like kind of like weird or whatever and stuff. And it's like, we don't judge here, but the NFL does.
The NFL does.
So that's Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams leads the Bears on a game-winning drive, and they score and they take the lead. They take it. So they're up 15-12 with like less than a minute to go. And basically it's over.
Yeah.
Not only less than a minute to go, there was like less than 30 seconds left on the clock. But they're only down 3, so it's like, okay, Washington, you need to get the ball. You need to get into field goal range, kick it off, or kick a field goal. And tie this bad boy up. But it didn't go exactly according to plan. A lot of time got run off, so there was only 2 seconds left. So Washington had to do what we call a Hail Mary.
Okay.
Which is basically like, okay, everybody run as far as you can, get into the end zone. The quarterback's going to run around and try to not get tackled for a while you guys get to the end zone. And he's going to throw the ball as far as he possibly can.
Yeah.
Why it was so fun was because they did catch the ball. It was a successful Hail Mary.
Okay.
And it was just like, I don't know, it was just a lot of drama. It was really fun.
Sounds kind of like a diva off between these two guys.
It really was.
Yeah.
And there's just always this between the first and second quarterback. It's like, well, who's really the best?
Yeah.
Because we don't really know. Like, no, they've never really.
Who is mother, basically?
Who is mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And right now, Jaden's mother.
Jaden's mother. Jaden's so mothering right now.
He's really actually mothering. He's actually really, really impressive. Like, he's been so good that everybody's like, there's no way he can keep it up.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I said about Addison Rae. And then look at her.
And guess what? She just dropped Aquamarine.
She's
a pop star. Addison Rae's going to save pop music.
I would honestly say, so the Washington Commanders are basically like, the Washington Commanders were not supposed to be good this season. Or at least they weren't supposed to be this good, like Addison Rae's music.
Yeah.
And the Chicago Bears, like, there was a lot of hype about them, but it's like, it's a rookie quarterback. We have like, it's okay if he's not amazing his first year. Peyton Manning was broke the record for most interceptions in a year his rookie year, and look what happened to him.
Yeah.
He has a huge forehead now. I'm kidding. I love my big forehead brother.
We love big foreheads.
We love you.
There's so many thoughts going on in that brain.
Girl, forehead team. I actually get that I look at Peyton Manning all the time.
I feel like you've been getting a ton of Travis Kelce comments lately.
Ever since I had the beard.
Oh, yeah.
It's the beard and the build. He and I have kind of similar builds, even though he's kind of soft right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's really talking about it because we don't like to body shame, but
it's not shaming because it's not bad. It's just like
his job.
It's just like things are different now.
Like, he doesn't have definition in his arms.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you're
I think
a professional athlete.
He's just in love. That's what we call love weight.
I think it's what we call, I've made enough money and I'm going to drink when I want to drink and eat when I want to eat.
Yeah.
I've won a lot of Super Bowls. I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Good to go.
What am I really playing for at this point?
Yeah.
I think that's what that is.
Yeah. So we're a little tired. We had a crazy long day.
Yeah.
We posted a sketch today. Those days are always kind of finishing up in the morning, etc.
Yeah.
But anywho, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Oh, and this is the Public Cool Podcast, by the way.
Subscribe.
Didn't intro that.
Towel off.
Yeah, please subscribe. Towel off. Love you guys.